We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
And hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to the podcast. It is August 31st, 2024, and here is your daily update for the Martial Heart Podcast about my condition, about how I'm recovering, about how I feel. Today, did a slightly different routine this morning to see if it would affect the nausea first thing in the morning. That's probably being caused by the medications. So I took my medications and immediately ate something. I did a protein shake and ate an egg and put something on my stomach. And although I still have some nausea, but it wasn't as bad as it was yesterday. I still feel it a little bit right now, a little bit nauseous, but until I adjust to this medication or they swap it out with something else, it's probably just something I'm going to have to live with, probably for a few more weeks, but otherwise not too bad. And I did my 5-minute walk on the treadmill also this morning at a slightly faster pace than what I used last time. I tolerated it well. It seemed fine. My legs are really stiff. I did get a little tired from it, not a lot, but I don't know how to really gauge it at this point. A 5-minute walk, even at that pace, wouldn't have been much of a challenge at any point. So I'm not really sure how it's affecting me as far as that goes. And then we cut up cardboard boxes. We get a lot of deliveries here. So we started cutting up cardboard boxes to take them to the recycle place. And so we did that for a while as well. Kind of worked up a sweat. And then here we are. But after that, so after the walk and after the cutting up of the boxes, I started getting a little shaky. I started feeling like I did not have enough energy in my system. I didn't eat enough to support the activity that I had been involved in there. So I had to start putting food into my system. So I, grabbed some things and ate them real quick to try to get my energy levels back up. And I don't know, it seemed like it wasn't a lot of exercise or a lot of activity, but it kind of affected me like I had done a lot more. So I got all sweaty and everything. I don't know. But that's kind of how my morning went so far. Not too bad, but still, it seems like I'm getting tired from very little activity. But my degrees of being tired is improving over what it was a couple of weeks ago. So I don't get as tired where I feel like I really need to just go lay down and take a nap right now. So it's more like, hey, I can tell that I've gotten some exercise in, which I don't really consider it exercise because I was just cutting up boxes and stuff. But, doing activities of any kind after a while, it seems like I start to, run out of gas pretty quick. Hopefully that doesn't last, and hopefully a lot of that is the shortness of breath from the medication, and it's not long-term effects of the heart attack. I know the rehab hasn't started yet, and I know rehab is going to take weeks, if not months, and it's going to take me a long time. Everyone keeps reminding me of that. It's going to take me a long time to feel, back to being my old self again, if that's even possible. So I'm trying to stay optimistic, thinking positive, and we'll see. So I'm not going to get down on myself about running out of energy, running out of gas too quickly at this point, because I haven't really done anything for almost 3 weeks now. So getting tired from going for a brisk walk and throwing around some cardboard boxes and cutting them up and hauling them around. I'll take it. It didn't cause me any pain. At some points, I get a little bit of discomfort in the chest, like a tightness in the chest, not like a stabbing pain or anything, but a tightness. And I don't know if that's my heart saying, hey, let's slow down, or if it's, I don't know. I don't even know what else it could be, but that's what it is. At some point during the box cutting and, situation, I started feeling like there was some, tightness in my chest. And so that was in addition to the normal shortness of breath that I've been having. Overall, though, I'm not too upset about today. I think everything's going fine, I guess. I hope. I guess I really won't know for a while. But one thing is that my wife, because I'm taking blood thinners now, before I could go help cut open the boxes, and cut them and flatten them out and do all that stuff, she bought me some cut-proof gloves, cut-resistant gloves. And she did that so that I wouldn't accidentally cut myself and then bleed for the next 3 days. Because I, bleed enough as it is. I have very thin skin, I guess you would call it, on my hands, and they get cut open and scratched and stuff a lot as it is. And I got scratched by a cat a few days ago, and more than a day later, it was still bleeding underneath the Band-Aid, so it took it a while to scab over. It wasn't a lot. It's not like I was going to bleed out or anything from a cat scratch, but it was interesting. So she has purchased me some cut-resistant gloves for me to wear when I do different things. We even have some food-safe ones for when I want to cut things up in the kitchen, just in case, so I don't cut myself and then bleed for the next 2 or 3 days, which is a weird thing. I don't normally cut myself, so it's a weird thing to have to worry about that now, where that's something I really didn't worry about much at all. Oh, if I get a cut, I just, pour some alcohol on it and wrap it up in some hockey tape or something. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. But now I guess it's something I have to worry about. I have to worry about the blood thinners and how that's going to affect everyday things, like if I get a cut or get a scratch. So that's where you kind of have to start wondering or thinking about the changes that are happening in your life as a result of the heart attack and your recovery. And other aspects of it, you wonder, does the person who had this brush with death, did it change their perspective on life? Did it make them a different person? Those kind of things, was it an epiphany for someone? Did they wake up and now they're, gonna go feed the poor and stuff, save the whales or whatever? And I can't speak for anyone else. I don't know how it affects other people. I'm sure some people it does do that, but this was not my first brush with death. So maybe it's a little bit different. I mean, it does affect you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making light of it. It does affect you mentally and emotionally, but this was not the first time that I had survived something that could have killed me. So maybe I had that awakening a long time ago, and this is just reinforcing it, as opposed to having such a dramatic reaction where it's going to change me as a person and change my personality. I don't really feel that it's going to do anything like that because, like I said, not the first time something has tried to kill me and almost succeeded. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see if there are any long-term changes in my psychology, in my mental or emotional state. I don't really think there will be. It is an interesting thing to sit around and contemplate. Maybe it's because I don't think about it that much. I try not to really but if you're going to sit there and think wow, hey, almost died. And what does that mean to me? It's, I don't know. Everybody's going to have a different perspective on that. But the more that you sit around thinking, wow, I just had a heart attack. How close did I come to dying that day? I don't know. I don't really have the desire to sit around and dwell on that so much as I want to dwell on the positive aspect of, hey, I survived it. I'm good. I lived through that. And hopefully, move on from there so that I'm not spending all of my time thinking of the negatives that are associated with, hey, I just had a heart attack or two. And I'd prefer to be positive about it and say, wow, hey, I survived that. I'm going to get better. I'm going to change my life in whatever way necessary to make it less likely to happen again in the future, and go with that. Changing the diet, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I am not going to sugarcoat it at all. Everything I like to eat will murder me now. Apparently, that's the way I have to look at it. Is everything I love is now going to kill me, and even though that's not true, it will not help. So the things that I had already cut back on eating a lot of because of the peripheral artery disease, we had tried to change my diet enough because I was on like a hardcore keto diet at the time, and it was great, and it was the only diet on the planet that actually worked the way I needed it to work, and where I was trimming down and getting ripped. But it's kind of the same thing. They say a Mediterranean diet is good for people with heart conditions and so on and so forth. Low carb, low sugar, high protein, low fat. So everything you like to eat is just bad now. So pizza is bad. Any fast food, bad. Everything. So, hey, we're going to have a nice, steak and French fries or something. Bad. So finding ways to get around that is going to be the challenge. I'm not a big fan of chicken. Chicken is boring as shit. And I prefer dark meat chicken. So like the drumsticks, legs, and things like that taste better. It's actually better meat. It tastes better. This whole white meat chicken thing is the most flavorless chunk of meat you're ever going to have in your life. And it's boring, and I don't understand why people are obsessed with it. I'm going to have a chicken breast. Oh, shut up. Nobody actually likes it. It's like, I don't know. It's boring. And you can spice it up however you want. It's still just a boring old white meat chicken breast. And there's only so much you can do. So it looks like there's a lot of that in my future. And that doesn't make me happy at all. Because the dark meat actually has more flavor. And it tastes better. And it's because of the fat content of it, I suppose. And that's what's bad for me. And that I'm supposed to avoid that. So it's all bad. Everything is bad. Turkey is okay. I'm not a fan of turkey. But if I do have turkey, I want the dark meat turkey. I want the giant drumstick. And, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But boring old chicken breasts and some vegetables or whatever, if that's what my diet is going to consist of for the next, 20 years, you might have to just let me die. I don't know how long I can do that. I guess we're going to find out. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. A little bit of tiredness and a little bit of nausea, still working through that. Here's my outro music, which is probably going to change pretty soon because I have another fiber person working on something. We'll see how that turns out. Do you like the new intro? I like the new intro. So let me know if you like it or not. Until next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves and your family. And, don't have a heart attack. Don't be me. And eat your boring white meat chicken breast.